to any other station, but you chose me. I'm so grateful that you guys are actually here. Now my people can actually see you on that screen. And there you go, guys. You are so beautiful. Welcome to KNR. Thank you so much for joining. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good, Setu. I'm all right. And thank you so much for having us on your show today.
Thank you. Mrs. Porter, how are you today?
It's a beautiful day and I'm happy to be here.
Lovely stuff. I asked, how are you doing? Now I'm going to get deeper. I ask guests on the show, how is their soul? So Linda, how is your soul this morning? I want us to think about this for a moment.
Sure. My soul this morning, it's actually in balance. I am balanced. I think the past week has been hectic. I've had flu, trying to juggle a lot of things at once, but I'm in such a good place, I would say, and very grateful that I still have my body to carry me. I'm still able to sit here and talk and just go about my life. Yeah, so I'm balanced.
Beautiful stuff. Mrs. Porter, how's your soul this morning?
My soul is also good. I had to miss church to get here on time.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
But my husband and I, we sat out in the garden, our very own Garden of Eden. And we did the Uncle Angus devotion, like a longer one today, and we prayed, and we just have so much to be grateful for. So today, my soul is really good as well.
Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Let's get right into it. The core of this conversation. I want to know about the wonderful work that you guys are doing. So let's talk about Ntinga Ntaka. What is Ntinga Ntaka? Where are you guys working, and why are you even doing the work that you guys are doing? Lindo, I think you can take that.
Sure. So Ntinga Ntaka is a program, now NPC as well, that is under Merrifield Preparatory School and College. So Merrifield, we know where it's situated, or a lot of people might know it's situated in Beacon Bay. But when you look on your right, heading towards Beacon Bay, you see Nompumelelo Township, right? So one of the things that Merrifield was very conscious of when it started this program was seeing the inequality, that people experience in the township. And one of those inequalities is inequality in education, because education is one area that is, I think a propeller for success for young people. So a relationship was formed. It's a 20-year-old relationship where initially it was around, let's see how we can assist the township. Let's see how we can assist the students in the township with various areas of education. And then in 2021, Ntinga Ntaka officially became registered as its own NPC, still under Merrifield. And so what we do is offer after-school programs, after-school education programs for those students. We focus on grade 4 literacy because, we did see the statistics, we did see the studies that were done, and only 19% of grade 4 learners could read for meaning in South Africa in 2016. And we also then did some analysis as Ntinga Ntaka, the then coordinator of the program, did an analysis of the high school needs at Sakikamva, and she sort of picked up what the problem areas are in terms of subjects. So you'll find with your physics, your maths, your life science, geography, there was a bit of a challenge. And then as Ntinga Ntaka, then we endeavored to make sure that at Merrifield we provide those education services through our after-school program. And one of the things that also makes it unique is that they also have access to our labs at Merrifield,
beautiful
where
stuff.
now children are able to apply the theory to real life examples. And one of the things that we're also very passionate about is bringing a sense of joy to children and them seeing aspiration beyond the classroom. And that's why we also have extracurricular activities. So like cycling, us growing up in the townships.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing.
You see bicycles all the time, you ride together, but you never really think of that as a possible career in future, or thinking about it in terms of the competitive part of it. And so we have cycling, we have swimming, which is a very basic life skill that children need, and also marimba. So we are really trying to create this holistic experience for these children. And also part of it is, we've seen how students in townships complete their matric, the results are not that great, and they end up again in the system, in the township, not doing anything. And so we also have a post-matric pathways part of it that we do in partnership with Grades Match, and more recently with Booming Homso as well. And so Yeah, it is holistic. And
It is
and
amazing.
yeah, one last one is financial literacy. So there's a cohort of grade 9s now who started in 2024 with
Yeah.
no grade 8, and they'll be taking financial literacy classes right up to grade 12, so that by the time they exit high school, they are familiar with financial concepts and have a way of managing their money. Yeah.
That is amazing stuff that you guys are doing. I'm blown away.
amazing.
I am blown away. Now, you mentioned that you guys are working in Nompumelelo. Is it both schools, Floridale and Sakikamva? This Porter, how has that been? I mean, Linda is saying you guys have been around for like 20 years. That is a long time. And surely there has been impact that you guys have witnessed. So how has that been just driving the work that you guys are doing?
Well, I mean, just both of us are fairly new, so in the last few years. But I mean, if we think of the statistics, the pass rate 3 years ago was about, I think it was 59% for matric. And then 2 years ago, it came up to 81, I think it was.
Nice stuff.
I'm not 100% sure here on my stats. And then last year was, I think, 89%, which is phenomenal. You know, it's giving these kids more confidence in passing their subjects and actually going places and trying to get out of Nompumelelo, making, you know, something of their lives.
You know, Nompumelelo, and other people may know it as Ikobasi, it's one of the areas that, you know, when you actually get into the place, you are traumatized. I mean, there's a lot that is happening. You know, there's taverns in each and every corner, and surely that affects young people. What are some of the contributing factors that you've seen, you know, that may relate to the numbers actually of learners dropping out? That's for one, and also just seeing the results when it comes to matric. What are some of the factors that you have noted that actually these are contributing to learners dropping out or not even continuing with their studies?
One of the very obvious ones, I mean, Nompumelelo is an over-dense township, sorry. So if you look at the statistics SA report from about 2021, I haven't seen an updated one. It did show that there's over 7,300 people living in that small area. And they only have 2 schools, one high school and one primary school. So that shows you already that the learner to teacher ratio is already not balanced. It already shows you, I mean, if we have 7,300 people living here, how many households do we have? And how many people are living in each of the households? So they're living in overcrowded homes as well. So things like having your own space to study are not, are not a privilege that children have. But also, if you look at the importance of role models and people that come before these students within the township, you sort of find the sort of careers that people are in, or some people, a majority of them not even being in employment. And so what kind of role models are children, exposed to within the community? I mean, parents try very hard, but with limited knowledge, there's only so much that they can do. Hence, we now have that post-matric pathways assistance that we are providing to these children. And we've also seen how that has helped as well, because Ntinga Ntaka doesn't work with the entire cohort of learners within the school. We have a select number that do these particular subjects. So our class capacity at Merrifield is 24.
Sure.
Yeah, so in a class, we have 24 students that take part. And in 2020...
And sorry to cut, how are they selected, the 24 participate?
So the 24 are done by the teachers at Sakikamva in collaboration with the Ntinga Ntaka coordinator, where they then identify these learners who are experiencing challenges in the subjects, or learners that are already doing well, but whose marks could be improved for better career opportunities in future. So you find a mix of learners in terms of their scores. It's not high achievers.
Like taking high achievers,
it's a balance. So what we believe in is saying, if we see that this child has potential and really wants to do the subject and perform well in it, we'd rather take a child from 30 to 50 instead of automatically taking, a child who already shows potential but is not interested in the program.
Nice.
And so we've seen the improvement in terms of their transition to universities and post-matric opportunities, because in 2023, 2023, we had 5 through Ntinga Ntaka. Now that's excluding the others.
Yeah.
Through Ntinga Ntaka, we were able to access universities. In 2024, in 22, it was 5, 3, 5. And in 2023, it was 10. And so this year,
So there is growth.
There is growth, there is improvement that we are seeing. And with that part, what makes us proud is the fact that we don't only focus on the children that attend at Merrifield, that attend the after-school program at Merrifield. We also then reach out to the broader matric class, the broader grade 11 class, through our partnerships with Grades Match and BI.
Nice stuff. Mrs. Porter, tell me, how has the adjustment been in the classroom now? These are kids that are coming from Nompumelelo, and if you had attended a school in rural areas of the township, it's quite different how you are taught, especially when it comes to also language as well. There may be that language barrier. So how has the adjustment been for the learners that come from schools such as Sakikava now getting to Merrifield and having them adjust to a new way of teaching, and also being exposed to different things, you're using a laptop for the first time, a tablet, you've got a lab, you're exposed to marimbas and stuff. So how has that adjustment been?
I think they love coming to us. They've got their own little badge to get access. They get food, they get a sandwich and fruit, and they just absolutely love it. I actually went and taught at Sakikamba on Workers' Day because I've been trying to get there. I want to see what the kids are experiencing. And, they're crammed into a small class. This class can't accommodate. They've got chalk, I was writing with the chalk on the board. And so now in my classroom, they come in, they've got their own space. I'm a very visual learner, video clips, always, visual pictures of what's going on, geography. And obviously I'm very aware of the jargon, trying to teach his kids second language. So I did have a grade 11 helper at one stage, I don't anymore, who was, of course, a speaker. Sure. And that was quite helpful. But I think the English is quite good now. I'm struggling to get everyone's names because I've actually got 48 kids. So they come every second week. So I don't see them every time. But I mean, like, my heart is so with these kids. I love going out into the township. And we're also starting now. So my passion is also animals.
Okay.
So a lot of them love animals too, but they were saying they don't have money for food.
Yeah.
So I said, well, if you just give them love, we all love to be loved.
Yes.
And water, especially on the hot days. And now I've started a bit of a feeding scheme where every time they see me at the end, they queue up and they get food to take home for their animals, And it's just something so close to my heart. And I'll pop down into the township in the holidays, and I love it because they, I see them and they stop and they say, hi, Mrs. Potter. And it's something that we want to grow. Getting out, meeting the parents, and we're just talking about it now, seeing where they're living, because a lot of them say it's so noisy at night, not just the traffic on the N2, but the taverns and all that. So the disparity is there, and we want to just try and bridge the gap and try and get more of an understanding of what they're living with on a day-to-day basis.
That is beautiful stuff. Now, Lindo, I know you're an artist. Lindo is a drummer. Lindo plays drums. She's also a DJ. She was a DJ at some point. So I'm exposing her right now because I know her. Lindo, now who is teaching these kids all of these extracurricular activities, your marimbas, what is the other activity that they're doing? Swimming. So do we have coaches that are there for them specifically, and how has that been as well?
Yes, we do. So one of the things that I love about Ntinga Ntaka, the beauty of Ntinga Ntaka, is how it shows the importance of public-private partnerships, right? That we always speak about. You wouldn't believe it. The teachers and the coaches that are part of Ntinga Ntaka from Merrifield are doing it out of their hearts. They're doing it as part of their volunteering and their extracurricular activities that they're doing at the school. So for the subjects, we have the educators like Mrs. Potter, and then for the marimba, we have our coaches who coach our Merrifield learners as well. So it's really beautiful. These are people who are skilled. These are people who know what they're doing. And in subjects that are not offered at our school or subjects that we don't have, because teachers have conflicting priorities at times because they have sports and other things that they need to be part of. Everyone's busy. In those cases, we take external teachers and we appoint them as part of Ntinga Ntaka on a contract basis to deliver those subjects. So we do have 4 external teachers, one of them being Zolani, who's just here, who does grade 10 geography. So yeah, these are highly skilled people. These are people who are passionate about learners, who are passionate about their work, and make sure that they give out their best. You should see them in class or out in the field or whatever. It's These are people who take their work seriously.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the love and the empathy that they have for the students from Sakikamva. And another amazing part is the fact that we also have our own Merrifield students who are part of the program as tutors.
Oh, that is nice.
It's such a beautiful
Yeah.
space where everyone understands their role, but also does it because they're passionate and
Yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
want to see an improvement in the lives of others.
Nice stuff. This show is all about making an impact in society. I started, just for you, Mrs. Porter, I started working with Purpose because I was trying to find healing. I was trying to find a safe space for me to talk about whatever it is that I'm going through. But I also wanted to create a community of people that are just going to say, hey, we don't have life figured out, but let's get together and just create the safe, beautiful space where we can just heal each other and also just share opportunities. So today I want to pay something forward. So if there's any students from Isakikava that you know that want to get into media, I'm inviting them. I want them to come to my show and just learn
lovely.
about the background of radio, what it is that we do. And maybe we can get them to co-host with me sometime. I think that would be really great. So that is my way of saying, let us build our communities and also just create opportunities for these young people, because, you know, someone had to take a chance with me. At some point, I was just a student and someone said, hey, come through and volunteer. And I started news reading. And here I am today, years later, and I'm doing this. So I also want to pay it forward. So working with Pebbles is welcoming any student from Sakikamva or even Floridale, because I know there are kids that are quite talented from a very young age that just want to be behind the mic, you know, or behind or in front of the camera. So yeah, that is me paying it forward. So in studio today, if you have just joined me in Pulapuli, we are joined by Lindo Bushemsele and Mrs. Porter from Ntinga Ntaka, which is a program, yes, in Merrifield, where they actually assist students from Iskolo Zase Nompumelelo apho babancedisa khona with extracurricular activities, but also nencwadi as well. So they provide support when it comes to education. So I want you to leave your comments on our social media platforms. It's Kith Ngesi Radio on Facebook. We are live, but we're also live on TikTok. So my TikTok people, I also see you. So you can just drop your comment and ask any questions that you have. Otherwise, thank you for joining Kith Ngesi Radio as your radio of choice. The time now is exactly 16 minutes after the hour of 11. Select my selector. Let's quickly go on an ad break. We'll be back right after this.